Hey, what's going on, guys? This is John. Happy New Year. Today is Monday, January 6th, 2020. So excited for the new year. Hopefully you are as well. Hopefully you're looking at the year and deciding what it is you want to do with your life. Where do you want to improve? What changes do you want to make? The last 12 months for me was an amazing experience. If you followed my channel, you know that in mid-January of 2019, I started my YouTube channel. And on that video, I set about 40 minutes worth of content where I explained the goals that I wanted to achieve in 2019. And then at the end of this year, so just some days ago, I did a recap video where I looked back and I compared what I wanted to do to what I actually achieved. And the results for me personally were quite remarkable. And I was able to really put myself on a path to help transform my body, my health, my diet, my finances, relationships, etc. And you can check out my video to see really the process I used to goal set, how I held myself accountable, and what amazing experiences I had along the way. So what am I doing for today? I got a number of questions recently around what it is that I eat, because in one of my videos, I shared two key goals that I had, or two key changes I made in my life. The first change is I adopted the intermittent fasting diet, which is I eat for a 8-hour window and I don't eat, or I fast for 16 hours. And within that 8-hour window, I did a number of things. The other thing I did was I just changed my diet, and I worried about first what the first meal of the day is that I have when I come out of fasting. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, because there was questions around what it is I eat, why did I choose what I ate for a breakfast, and what are the important health benefits of each. Before I go into that, let me clarify. I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a personal trainer. What I am is a guy who over the last 12 months have done a few amazing things. I lost 15 pounds. I dropped my body fat percentage from about 18% to 8.4%, which is backed by a body scan I did, and I did another video to show you what my body composition is. I went through quite an overhaul over my exercise habits and going to the gym and running and so on. But most importantly, the 2019 wellness visit I had with my doctor showed that I dropped my cholesterol from 231 down to 181. My HDL and LDLs all went from high to normal levels. My triglycerides went from something like 360 down to 61. So all my health from a blood work and urine sample perspective showed dramatic improvements. I don't associate just my diet to that, but I know it's a big part in addition to a healthy, balanced diet and exercising and working out. So again, I wanted to spend today to talk about what the first meal I have when I come out of intermittent fasting, because one key thing I've learned in the last 12 months, and let's not say 12 months lightly, doing a habit that's new for 12 months, which is a total of over 360 days, is hard. It takes discipline, it takes patience, and sometimes it takes sacrifice, because this day and age, we're so used to convenience. We're so used to having a meal quick, feeling full quick, but unfortunately, that kind of diet isn't always the healthiest. So it takes a lot of discipline. But I think, like we all have maybe heard growing up, if you do something enough times, like 16 to 18 times repeatedly, it becomes a habit. And then that habit just becomes a way of life. And what I've also learned is there's no such thing as a diet. If you first have a goal of going on a diet to lose 20 pounds, that's awesome. What if you hit 20 pounds and you lost that weight? Well, then what? Do you have another diet to go from losing 20 pounds to another 10 pounds after that? So you have another total of 30 pounds? Great. Now you've lost 30 pounds. Then what? Look at me. I dropped 15 pounds and I have a goal of losing another 5. But when I hit that another 5 pounds, what's left? What's really left is sustaining a long-term life change. And that's, I think, a big key from a mental perspective we don't often look at when we just set out. We wake up on Jan 1st and say, now's the time I'm going to get in shape. Now's the time I'm going to go on a diet. But what we learn along the way, if you stick with it, you're really adopting a life change. You're adopting a change in your view of how to eat. And you look at eating as more of a how do you pump good fuel into your body than I just need to eat and feel full. And that's a big difference and a bit of a wake-up call that I had for last year. Anyway, enough of that background. So I'm gonna next switch the camera. I'm gonna make the first meal of the day for you live, which is a really healthy oatmeal. Sounds simple, but when you see the ingredients and I give you an explanation of why I do this, maybe you'll be able to take some of this back into your own routine and see if it helps. And the last thing I want to mention is I do a ton of research. the only two sources I've been using to really understand food better, understand what tweaks I can maybe make to my diet or try to make to my diet and understand the impacts it have is webmd.com and examine.com, like examine your eyes, examine.com, which is an independent site that's staffed nothing but by scientists who back their comments off of researches that have been taking place around the world. So you can just go on there, examine.com, and Google something like health benefits of chia seeds, and you'll be able to get study-backed information about really anything you want. So those are the two resources I use to really learn more about food, learn more about the health benefits of different foods, and that's what I just wanted to share real quick. Okay, so now let's take a look at the meal prep. Okay, so now let's take a look at the meal that I eat here, and just a fair warning, I have my 7-week-old child in the background, so hopefully he'll cooperate. But a quick summary about what you see here. So what you see here is oatmeal, cinnamon, chia seeds, powdered peanuts in a powder form, flaxseed, cacao powder, and honey, and raw, unfiltered organic honey. In summary, you get around 70% of the daily fiber you need all in this meal. You have around or a little over 500 calories, around 20 grams of protein, healthy fats, omega-3s, antioxidants. The amount of fiber alone helps you feel fuller for a longer period of time, and the amount of vitamins and just the nutritional value of this first meal I find incredibly helpful to keep me full longer, but it also gives a lot of what my body needs in the beginning of the day. So let's now dissect each ingredient. Okay, first is organic, instant, quick oats. Regarding the nutritional value of oatmeal, I think it should leave little explanation, but oatmeal has a good amount of protein, which is higher than most grains. It helps lower your cholesterol by supporting the HDL, which is the good cholesterol. It has a powerful soluble fiber called beta-glucan. It has antioxidants in here, protein, just a good amount of vitamins and minerals coming from here. But I do want to caution, and you may already be aware of this, but not all oatmeal is created equal. There are several types of oatmeal that you can buy in general, the type, but also the form. So this is quick oats, which is just the raw oats in this container, versus something like this, which is more processed from a manufacturing perspective. It comes into powder. It comes in a packet form. It has more sodium, more sugar, so you definitely want to read the labels and try to find something that's just less processed and has less sugar. Comparing these two, this has, I think, 15 grams of sugar versus here it's less than 1 gram, just as one example. But the different types of oatmeal as well. So I choose this because of its convenience. It takes about 1.5 minutes to make. It's fairly cheap. But you also get still a good amount of health benefits. Let's start from the top and work our way down. First, you have oat groats. Groat is the whole oatmeal kernel, but it does take around 50 to 60 minutes to make. Who has time for that in the morning? Next, you have steel cut oats, which is the oatmeal that's just cut. That takes anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes. Then you have rolled oats, which is the oatmeal groat that's been flaked, rolled, and steamed. But it's still thicker, and for that reason, it takes a bit longer to make. Then you have this, which is steamed and flaked. The steaming of it makes it cook more faster, and this is what I'm using. So just a quick background of the different types of oatmeal, because through this journey, I didn't realize there was anything more than steel cut. And then the varying degrees of what you can find in the labels. So choose your oatmeal carefully. Okay, next we have a tasty spice called cinnamon. Cinnamon I use just for its taste, but also there are some valuable health benefits to cinnamon, which is a spice that's been used dating back all the way to ancient Egypt. First of all, it has been proven to show it has anti-inflammatory properties, so it'll help the body fight infection and do repair on cell tissue. The other thing I learned that I wanted to caution is I learned that cinnamon does come in 2 forms. There's what you find in front of me and what you find most common in grocery stores called cassia cinnamon. Then you have what they're calling true cinnamon, which is Ceylon cinnamon. The difference between the two is this actually has a high amount of a compound called coumarin, which if taken in large doses has been proven to
cause possible issues to your liver. Large doses can be not as anything more than 1 teaspoon, which I didn't realize. And since doing that bit of research, I will, in the near term, as soon as tomorrow, switch from this cinnamon to the Ceylon cinnamon, which you can find on something like Amazon.com. So I put about 5 to 10 knocks in the bowl, which would equal around half of a teaspoon approximately in the bowl of oatmeal. Next we have organic chia seeds. These are dry chia seeds. I put 2 tablespoons of these in the oatmeal. Chia seeds really packs a major punch for the small amount you have and for the small size of the seeds. First, it has a high amount of omega-3 fatty acids, which is a very highly healthy amount sort of fat. It also has about 15% of the amount of calcium you need on a daily basis, which rivals having a glass of milk. So if you have issues with drinking milk or you're lactose intolerant, this could be a possible alternative for the calcium benefits. It has a good amount of fiber, and the calories is about 150 grams of calories just in 2 tablespoons. But again, the amount of calories and the types of fat you're getting creates an overall nice health benefit. Next on the list, we have organic peanut powder. Peanut in any form is a healthy alternative for a number of reasons, like same with almonds, cashews, walnuts, etc. I chose the peanut powder first because I could scoop it in and ingest it directly in the oatmeal. Second, for its energy content. Peanuts has high energy content, so it'll help fulfill the feeling of being full and keep your appetite satisfied over a longer period of time. Vitamin-wise, it's high in niacin and vitamin E. So again, this was a nice way to keep the kind of fats you'd get from a nut just in a powdered form and something you could just ingest directly with the oatmeal. Okay, next we have flax seeds, but you'll see the cameo appearance being made by my 7-week-old son, Graham. Graham just threw up in the kitchen. So my poor wife's there cleaning it up and passed him off to me. And here I am holding him for the next ingredient. So we have ground flaxseed. Flaxseed comes in 2 forms, ground and whole. Ground is actually a bit better because it's more easily digestible and absorbable in the body versus whole flax seeds, which can go through your intestinal tract quickly and not fully be absorbed. The benefits of flaxseed is it's got a great fiber content, high amount of omega-3 fat, and a good amount of protein. I put 2 tablespoons of this. That gives around 3 grams of protein. It has 3 grams of fiber. And as I said, the omega-3 fat, it has 4.5 grams of fat, but zero saturated fat. Anything else you'd like to add? No, we're good. Moving on. Next is organic cacao powder, and I put about 1 heaping tablespoon of this in the oatmeal. The more I read about cacao powder, the more I really like it overall, because while we may have heard that in general, small to moderate amounts of chocolate on a daily basis has been proven to be healthy for you, and generally that's because of its antioxidant properties. But the problem is you have 2 different types of chocolate powder. You have cocoa and cacao. Non-organic cocoa has been treated more with chemicals and has gone through a roasting process that can minimize the antioxidant properties by up to 60%. But organic cacao powder in the powdered form is a great way to retain all that antioxidants, which is something I didn't know until I did some reading. But cacao powder, now listing some of the benefits, it has 20 to 40 times more antioxidant power than natural blueberries. It has a good source of magnesium, which is a vitamin and mineral that has a way of taking glucose and transforming it into energy that can then feed a healthy heart and brain. It has a good amount of calcium. Actually, if you take like for like the amount of an 8-ounce glass of milk and cacao powder, you're looking at 26 milligrams in just 1 tablespoon. So if you spread 3 to 4 tablespoons of cacao powder throughout your diet during the day, you're actually getting a high amount of calcium. And then one other interesting thing cacao powder does is it has been proven to be helping with anti-anxiety and stress, because it has different ingredients like serotonin and tryptophan, which offsets a high amount, if you have high amounts of cortisol in your body, which if travels throughout the body is what you get when you feel a high amounts of stress or anxiety throughout the day. These are several factors that cacao powder can really help with. But the one problem with cacao powder is that it's a bit bitter in its taste, which is why, to end with, I put about a tablespoon, a full teaspoon of organic, raw, unfiltered honey. Now, honey in general does have flavonoids in there, which is a form of antioxidants that does have health benefits. But the main reason I use honey is that while it is a good source and a good alternative of sugar than just like table sugar, it's for the taste, so it's sweet. So the cacao powder married with a teaspoon of honey gives it a sweet taste. So that's it, guys. Overall, I put all this into the oatmeal bowl. I actually have a water jug cooler that does have a hot water option that's already at around 140 degrees. I'll then pour the water into this bowl. I'll let the bowl sit for 30 seconds. By the time it rests for 30 seconds, I would be able to put a spoon in the bowl and actually leave it, and it will stand up on its own because it does generate a thick consistency, which I like. One of the reasons why it's thick is because the water is absorbed by the chia seeds and then as well the flax. But this is it, guys. This is what I have, the very first meal of the day. I've been doing this for about a year, and you heard earlier the health benefits it's gotten for me. I do encourage you to do some research, do some experimenting after you do the research and see what works for you, because what really comes down to is you want to maintain a level of convenience where you can make something that's not as fast, but you do want to focus on ingredients that are minimally processed. And you also want to do something that you enjoy, something that you can eat and that you like, and that's going to sustain you over the long term. Whereas fad diets or diets in general where someone's telling you eat this, eat that, and you could do it for a few weeks and then you start hating the taste of it, and that's why diets, or fad diets especially, are short-lived. Thank you guys so much for your attention. I hope some of this information you can find helpful in your own lives, and I'd love to hear from you in the comment section if you do something similar or you have any feedback of trying this in general. Have a great day, guys, and we'll talk soon.